How the media said that I died, but I'm still breathing. Who do you believe in? Everything that they said was a lie.
What's going on, guys? King Trending here. What we're doing today is going over 5 reasons why people think that Tupac is still alive today. I didn't believe it at first, like most of you guys, but after looking up all this evidence, everything points to the fact that he could still be alive. Be sure to watch this whole entire video and get all the evidence necessary to make your own conclusion, but definitely by the end of this video, you guys will think that Tupac is still alive today. First of all, let's go to where all these rumors actually started on how Tupac is still alive, allegedly in Cuba. Years after Tupac got shot, a rapper tried to mimic Tupac by copying his lyrical structure and his voice patterns and rapping in Pac's point of view, and this rapper's name is KTD. The song sounds so much like Tupac, people that knew him claimed that the man that rapped inside the song was Tupac himself years after his supposed death. I'll let you guys hear a few lines, then I have to take over because of copyright reasons.
How the media said that I died, but I'm still breathing. Who do you believe in? Everything that they said was a lie. You see, listen, we was in Vegas, getting faded in the city of sin.
So that was a few lines of the song, and doesn't that sound exactly like Tupac? And the rest of the lines I'm about to read you are even more concerning. Then he goes to say, I had a bad feeling that night after the fight at the MGM, can you feel me? Which is referring to Mike Tyson fight that he was leaving when he supposedly got shot. Then he goes to say, when we left the telly on the way to the club, these girls pulled up right beside us. And if you guys don't know, Tupac actually pulled up right beside these two girls talking to the people on to the left when the shooters actually popped up on the right side of Tupac. Then he goes to say, my adversaries standing, plotting on my death, squeezing bullets to the name on my chest. I heard a gunshot, but it got weird. Instead of bullets, only smoke appeared. The next thing I knew, some man in a suit just standing there. They opened the door, grabbed me by the feet, let my head hit the concrete. It was a nightmare. Dragged on my street, scars on my back, looking back at the white Cadillac, which was the car that actually did the drive-by, was identified as a white Cadillac. Then after that, he says, over my head, I could not believe what I happened to see. A guy that looks just like me, dressed like me, in the passenger seat, but it can't be me. But this guy that he was referring to was a double of Tupac. KTD said the double he was referring about inside the rap was referring to Jeffrey Wilson, aka 3Pac. He was a stunt double of Tupac in many movies that Tupac actually acted in. And the reason why they look so alike is because Jeffrey Wilson, he had plastic surgery to look more like Tupac, including lip surgery, lip injections, and also chin bone reduction. And obviously the name 3Pac comes from the name Tupac, referring to them looking exactly the same. And Tupac's family even went to say that they couldn't even tell two of them apart when they were at a distance. The only real difference between them was 3Pac had a tattoo of Tupac on his right arm, and also Tupac, the real one, had a nose piercing. The day of Tupac's death, Jeffrey Wilson had a round trip ticket to Cuba, but when he flew there, he never returned. People have speculations that Tupac actually got replaced with Jeffrey Wilson the moment he was supposedly shot, making 3Pac dead and not Tupac. And that would mean that Tupac went to Cuba and could still be alive today. And that's the full story why people believe Tupac is still alive inside Cuba, because of the actor, and they actually got switched before the death of Tupac. And what's even crazier about the story is back in 2011 on December, the person they called 3Pac, or Jeffrey Wilson, actually came back to the United States for a few days, then returned going out of the country to Germany. And people are speculating during this time that he was in the United States again, that he wrote Mystery by KDT, the song that I showed you before, making the song that he actually wrote by Tupac himself. And that would kind of make sense because people who listened to the song that was related to Tupac actually thought it was him, and that could very well be the case. So now people are thinking that Tupac is now staying at Germany and is under a different name as Jeffrey Wilson. And now we're moving on to the fourth theory why people think that Tupac is still alive. This relates to the previous theory because Tupac actually died on September 13th, and the day after he actually got cremated, which is not really normal. Usually it takes a few weeks or months to get cremated, but he got cremated the day after, and the family actually requested an autopsy of the reason why Tupac passed away. Obviously they know he got shot, but they're just wondering if there's anything else they're missing. But then Suge Knight actually paid someone $3 million to cremate Tupac the day after, which was September 14th, 1996. And the day after the guy cremated him, he retired, which was kind of weird. That might just be because he got paid $3 million. He doesn't really need to work, but there was no reason for Suge Knight to pay him $3 million at all, because Suge Knight is not really worth that much to where he could throw away $3 million to a person just to cremate Tupac. And people are speculating that there's a reason because of this. Was it to cover up something about Tupac? We probably may never know. Then we're moving on to the third thing, which relates to the previous one. In 2014 an interview of an Outlaws member, Idi Amin confirmed the rumor that the ashes of Tupac were actually not Tupac at all. The ashes tested for DNA of Tupac's and it did not come up as positive. So the weird question is, whose ashes were they? So people were speculating that it was Jeffrey Wilson, the person I mentioned before, which they called Tupac. And then if they did do an autopsy of Tupac, they would find out that it actually wasn't him. It was his stunt double or actor friend Tupac. The second thing people think about Tupac's death is that the government somehow is like correlated into this, which I really don't understand. Then randomly the CIA just said no, we don't know where Tupac is, which is weird for a government Twitter just to tweet, and it has over 200,000 retweets and 150,000 likes. So then to find out that Suge Knight actually paid someone to tweet this out is also kind of sketchy, and it kind of puts some fingers on Suge Knight that he is behind this whole entire thing, on how he tried to help Tupac fake his own death. And that would make sense for him to try to do because he's the CEO of Death Row Records, the person that actually signed Tupac, so he would benefit if his songs got immortalized because more people would listen to his music after he passed away. All of his songs would become relevant forever pretty much. Death Row Records cashed out on Tupac's death. They recorded $100 million spike after Tupac died. But this really doesn't make sense to me because Suge Knight was in the car with Tupac and people were shooting at him. But then this kind of makes sense because inside the song he says there was no shots fired, only smoke appeared, if you guys remember when I said that. And that's when Suge Knight and his team switched out Tupac for Jeffrey Wilson. Everything adds up really weirdly and can possibly make sense that Suge Knight is behind this all. And the last thing that really spooks me is that Suge Knight actually got reported that he got shot in the head by the first person that showed up at the scene. But then Suge Knight never went to the hospital or never got checked upon on getting shot in the head. He said he got grazed by the bullet and the officer reported saying blood was everywhere. Later, the first officer on the scene said that Suge Knight could not be a part of Tupac's death because he looked generally concerned for Tupac getting shot, or Tupac I should say, because we're not sure if it's actually him. There's no actual proof because everything was gone and cremated the day after. And also because of the $100 million spike, that would make sense why Suge Knight would pay cremation person $3 million because he could afford it after Tupac's death because of how many people bought his albums and mixtapes. I now learned the first reason why people think that Tupac actually faked his own death and he could still be alive today. This reason is because Tupac actually recorded his own death a week before because he recorded a music video of a song, and inside that song it shows him dying and rapping from heaven pretty much and talking to everyone including his family, telling him like not to miss him, which was really weird. He kind of saw this coming, predicted the future before it even happened, and people find this a little bit too good to be true. And Snoop Dogg said in an interview a week before Tupac's death, Tupac went inside the studio and worked on like a few songs at once and finished them. He even reported saying he finished 3 songs in one day. A normal big artist at the time would work on 1 song every week, but Tupac made 3 songs in a day. It kind of seemed like he kind of knew that something was gonna happen to him, and that's why he was working so hard that week before he passed away. I'll throw a small clip of the whole entire situation.
Sometimes wrote the future, and it told a story of what it's going to be as opposed to what it is. And now it's prophesied, you're starting to see it and you're starting to hear it. He wrote his death before his death happened. Like, why would you do a video about you getting killed and then a week later you get killed? Why would you write songs about your mama and being a loving son to your mama? He knew it.
You guys could decipher your own opinion about this whole entire situation, but the evidence is pretty convincing and pointing to the fact that Tupac could still be alive today and faked his own death. I didn't believe it at first, but since like Snoop Dogg believes it, and Snoop Dogg was a really close associate of Tupac and he actually believes that there's something fishy there, I kind of believe that also. And also the story adds up and makes sense. So who really knows about this whole entire situation? It's just a mystery that probably will never be solved. And if you guys do have any other theories about Tupac, be sure to leave it down in the comments down below because I'm interested and I want to hear your guys' point of view about this whole entire situation. If you believe it, like, what do you think happened to Tupac? I find it kind of weird that he rapped about his own death before it happened. And if you guys are new to this channel and don't know, we're actually doing an iPad giveaway, a gray 32GB iPad. All the rules are really simple, so you guys are missing out if you're not entering. All the rules be on the screen. All you have to do is leave a like on this video, comment down below I subscribed, actually be subscribed and turn on post notifications to this channel, and you already watched the whole video so you don't have to worry about that. And I'll see you guys later in the next King Trending video. Peace, guys.
Every day, yeah, he make them decisions.